just logged back in to start it. So I just logged back in to start it, Sarah. So I got it. I had originally tried to log in as the town and it wouldn't let me. And then so I logged in as myself, and that's what I was waiting, and it was saying the town needed to, blah, blah, blah.
Did you ever leave the office last night?
I did. For a little bit anyway.
What's this? Oh, look at that.
All right, Doug, I think I can get out since everybody's in, right?
Yeah.
Perfect
Yeah.
like that, Jim. Leave it
says
just like that. No, little perfect.
I'll leave
Oh,
it.
you can
Not
adjust
touching
it
at
now.
all. It's just doing it itself.
Good morning.
I think it's out of focus now.
No.
Good morning.
We
Good
look
morning,
tired.
Sandy. Good morning.
Just black it out.
All right, I'm going to apologize to everybody right now because, first of all, we're getting a little bit late start here, and I know a couple of us have other meetings, and I am not super prepared for this because there's been some little land acquisition things we've been talking about that's been consuming my time. So it's and I know a lot of your
Really?
time also. So, oh my goodness gracious! But let's jump in. Sandy, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the reminder emails. Sandy was sending me emails. Hey, are we meeting? I'm like, I'm glad somebody's on top of that. So,
You're welcome.
oh my goodness. Let's see here. All right. So, all right. I started working on this. So let's just kind of quickly review where we're at. I think we're actually getting pretty close to being able to start hopefully sending this out for some comments and referrals. I think we're getting pretty close on a lot of this stuff. The stuff in blue is stuff we've already talked about and that we've kind of generally, I think, have some consensus on, I guess is the word that I would use. Obviously, the first sections here, Kathy, I know we just hung up the phone with an hour conversation. I'm sorry, but we still have that one section we got to talk about, but we'll get to it. But so the first section here, I think, is just basic housekeeping type stuff. I'm going to just scroll down quickly. This is the section, was it scope or was it, yeah, I think it was under the scope section here, Kathy, that we've got the town, this plan shall be enacted during those
Yep.
times when the town supervisor, yada, yada.
I will work on that.
All right, so we gotta make some time to get to that part. I'm just gonna kind of quickly skip through this here. Concept of operations, we've kind of gone through this. We can revisit this. Gene, we've just gotta incorporate the documents with the LGS1 aspect there. I'm gonna skip over this section and come back to it again here in just a second. The next section here, reducing risk through remote work and staggered shifts. I think we've generally talked about that. I'm gonna zoom in so I don't make you guys dizzy here, scrolling back and forth so much. The remote work protocols. A lot of this also is kind of similar in keeping with our employee handbook. There's a section in there on that. The staggered shifts, we've talked about that. I'm gonna skip over the PPE. We'll come back to that here in just a second. And I'm just going to scroll down. The last section here is the policy that we enacted that we put into the document because it's used as the basis or the template according to the pandemic. We're supposed to base it on if something similar to the COVID-19 situation. And then the documentation of work hours, locations. Obviously, we have the electronic time and attendance system, and then the housing that we talked about last time, and we said that we would use our facilities as much as possible. So any questions on any of that? I think just that was a very, very quick review. We can go back through that in more detail, but I think that's all stuff we had generally said that yes, as we went through before. Let me jump back up. I think probably one of the biggest sections left to finish up is these two sections on I've been talking too much. Last night was a long presentation, long meeting. Mission essential functions. And then when we get into the essential positions and what the essential positions entail. want to go back up here. Jean had sent me an email. Jean, thank you so much. It was very helpful. I didn't quite get it finished, but Jean had sent me a list of, after our last meeting, basic operations, essential functions of the town clerk's office. That's supposed to say oaths of office. It wasn't finished there. And we need to go through and do that for every department. I know Caitlin and Jim, you guys both did that for highway and water and transfer station. Code enforcement's a little bit more broad. We've got to finish that up for these other groups and the different functions associated. Obviously, town board's got to be able to meet, whether it's remotely or in person, and authorize us to do stuff and make decisions. So we've got to finish up some of that sort of stuff. The one thing I guess I would ask, it would be very helpful if each of you had any thoughts or ideas for each of the different, I can email this out to everybody, for each of the different groups. If you wouldn't mind even just a few bullet points thrown in there for us and sending it back, that would be very helpful, because then we can take all that information and put it together so that we're not missing anything, like you did, Jean, for the town clerk's office. That was very helpful. Then we're going to have to go back and finish rating those, and then listing the essential aspects, the functions, the positions here. The rest of the document, I believe we've worked through at this point. We talked about PPE last time. I just got to finish going through and wordsmithing that. We talked about using Michelle in the town hall and Caitlin in the highway relative to that and how that would all work. We made a little bit of progress there. I know that in the town hall, Michelle has identified a specific area where she's going to try to keep all of that stuff in the closet and the cabinet of the closet here. And I think Caitlin, and Jim, you guys have worked together. You have a place in the town highway facility, right, for all of that stuff? I see them in there. So I think we're pretty good with all of that. I guess my question to you, and we've got to identify that specific in that, not to take up honestly everybody's time, do you just kind of want to work on this collectively offline and just finish this up? Do we need to meet again, or once we assemble that, are we ready to refer this maybe to Gary? I don't know if it would fall under ordinance or not. I don't know, but maybe send it to the ordinance committee or the planning committee. If one of you maybe take it on, and we could send it and then get it to the town board that way through the committee structure. What's everybody's thoughts on that?
I think it's pretty much,
think
Is
that-
everybody's microphones muted?
Yeah,
I think it's pretty much ready to go, move along anyway, to different groups for their input. My 2 cents on that.
Is it ordinance or policy? Does it?
It's definitely a policy, Jared. For sure, it's a policy. It's not a local law.
Right, so do we need to, what's the most efficient way to break it down? I mean, Gary was saying, I think from the looks of Gary, he really wants to jump into it and really get into the weeds with it.
I'm thinking more planning.
What if we treat it like a living document? We say we think we're at a point where we bring it to the town board to approve it. If it needs to be amended, we'll amend it when it needs to be amended.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
sounds all
we're
right.
gonna find out, I like that, we're gonna find out things that don't work, things that we need to change. So yeah, make it living. And
We can even add that in there. I don't know if it's in there already, but
Yeah, I think we can definitely add it in there, or even in the resolution. Obviously, once it's ready to be adopted, we could put that in that also. And that's why the template actually has a record of changes here on it, so that we include changes.
I mean, it could even say, when a health emergency is declared, that this policy is reviewed, for that particular emergency. Something like that, which of course it would be, but, to put it in there to.
Right.
Does the
Didn't
town
the,
board want to look at this every year like we do with all the other policies and in our fee schedule? To add it to that list, so that way at least the town board reviews it annually?
We could do that. I don't
Yeah.
know. There may also be that requirement from the state at some point. I don't know. Since reading the order that the governor passed for us to do this. I don't think it required that, but they may at some point, so it doesn't hurt, right, to do that.
Right, yeah, it doesn't hurt.
What if we did this, Doug? We give everybody the next 2 weeks, review it, put in your comments for the next meeting in 2 weeks, hammer it out, and then give it to the board in February.
Yeah, that's what,
Well, doesn't it have to go to the union by February 1st?
I don't have the date. It's February something, yes. We've got to
I thought
have
it
it
was the first,
officially.
yeah.
Yeah,
In
Before-
April 1st to Albany.
correct. We've got to give Chris, and Chris, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but once we get the document kind of finished, is there anything you need from us to present it to the union other than the document itself?
No, that's all I need.
Okay.
It's February 4th is the deadline for the union.
February 4th?
Yeah.
So they could be reviewing it at the same time that we are,
Yes,
and then put together whatever comments there are.
yes.
That sounds good.
So why don't we do this then? Why don't we, I know that January town board meeting date is January 29th, just off the top of my head, that's a Friday, but why don't we just say by that date, everybody provide the comments, and then that gives me that weekend. I'll make sure that those comments are all incorporated and everything, and Chris will have it to you by that February 4th date. And then you can also be providing comments. And then it probably wouldn't make the February town board meeting, but let's shoot for that March town board meeting that we would take action on it.
Well, what is it we're going to be reviewing and looking at? You're going to send out what we've done so far, and
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
email the document to everyone, and then everybody can provide some additional markups and comments and everything, and we'll just kind of do it that way just to finish it up.
And I'll look up the town law stuff and make sure that's all good. Then we can run it past Chris.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's the town attorney. Yeah, we'll get to him. So. Sandy, you're quiet, and thank you for participating on those. Is there anything we can do? I know we'll send you the document. Is there anything that you would need from us for your operations there?
I'm not sure what it would be at this point, but my question is, does it have to go to county planning?
No, because it's
Okay.
not a land use planning document. It's just a administrative policy. So
Okay.
county planning would not have to weigh in on it.
Good.
I mean, it's always good to get more opinions, right? We can always err on the side of sending it over to the county. Kathy, I don't know, it wouldn't be county planning, but Kathy, the county's also going through the process, or at least they will be.
Right.
We
I can check with them to see if they're doing that. I know they help the towns, the smaller towns. As you know, as we had Bristol on here last time, so they may be doing some sort of review thing, so I can check with them too. I don't know how many, if you want to do that, I don't think it's necessary, but
Yeah.
I might look and see what I know this was put together based upon the sample provided, right? So
Correct,
I can
yeah,
just take a look at others and see.
Right.
And if anybody else wants to see what other people are doing, I don't want to put in that, because then we get lost in the weeds of
Right.
what other people are doing. And I think we got a pretty good handle on this, but I definitely will look at it, and I will send to anybody what I get if you want to.
I know that Brian Young had told me that they were starting with the same template that we were at the county.
That is true.
And Brian White, who is the Village of Fairport administrator, told me that they were also using the same template to get started. He's also the president of the New York Managers Association. So that's why I'd reached out to him and just find out what's going on there. So
Mhm.
I think a lot of municipalities are using the same template here. So.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll call this a quick, easy meeting then, unless somebody has anything else, and I'll get this out to everybody by email, and we'll just kind of finish up tweaking by email, and then let's try to get that wrapped up by the end of January so that we can have it to Chris by that February 4th date.
Sounds good.
Yep,
All right.
okay.
Awesome.
Ready?
All right. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
All right. Take care.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye now.
Goodbye.